Cloud is moving beyond the experimental stage now. And last 6 to 8 months, it was more or less on the proof of concept path. Now people are getting more mature, more aware. The knowledge has permeated more within the Indian CIO community, and people have started to move beyond the experiment stage, as I have put it. We ourselves had done an exercise with cloud computing when we moved our security pattern update to the cloud last year. We were using a product of a leading security services vendor, and then there was a chance to move from a client-server mode of security protection to the cloud-based model. We did that, and we found that the adoption was pretty good. Prior to that, we were using software as a service also, because for our spend management, we were using Ariba, which was a very sophisticated application that was also running on a private cloud, which Ariba was hosting. Our communication system is running on a public cloud, which is Tata MPLS VPN. And currently, we are experimenting with certain other technologies and application systems, which if we find, we can deploy our applications and take our IT initiatives faster. One of the examples I'll give is perhaps, creation of a DRBC, disaster recovery and business continuity planning. We had a particular issue because we wanted to create it in an off-site manner. So one of the things that I first looked at is why not look at storage as a service and create an electronic data vault, something which is very simple, but if we do it, we'll be having one more factor in which we are doing a risk assurance for our organization. This is how we did it. It's pretty fast, not very expensive. It's just the kind of thought process. Prior to this kind of service being available, we could not have thought. So you will again go through the CapEx mode, plan, build, take approvals, and then go forward with this. Another is infrastructure as a service. If you're planning to go for an SAP upgrade now in the next perhaps quarter, two routes are there. One is the conventional route, buy the hardware, put it in a data center, take out the existing hardware, put it in another data center, and then start your process. Third is take infrastructure as a service. Do the piloting of the upgraded systems over there, and then move them back to the actual data center during a cutover period. This is how the adoption of cloud can be done. Like I was saying in the panel also, use intelligence, your acumen, and try to think in an out-of-the-box, fish out of the water kind of a manner. One of the factors that you have to consider is the security and the privacy factor also. If you put everything on the cloud, like we have to see what we would like to put on the cloud and how it is being put. How much encryption is being done over there. If it's just over there, that's another hacker's paradise. Anyone can just take that, and that's where you are. You create an electronic data vault. You're thinking that you've done a great job by making the data secure. Someone else just comes, picks up the whole thing, and he has the entire intellectual property of the company over there. So you can't do that compromising. And I think when you take a decision to host something on the cloud, you have to do it in a very, very systematic manner and make sure that there's a robust framework of privacy and security behind that. Can't just do it just like that. Or maybe do it on an experimental basis, see how it works, but when you finally roll it off, you have to take care of the entire framework which is there. One is the operational aspect, the next is the leadership aspect, the third is the business aspect of the CIO. How far can the CIO think like a business leader, and how he can leverage the information technology, organization, the assets and the systems and people for the benefit of the business. One of the things that we are thinking of is to make our organization more agile, more closer to the customer, is by this very concept itself. Create a small community on the cloud on which people can collaborate, reach out, without getting into UC, etc. But there are many other ways you can do that. And once this is there, we are closer to the customer. For example, on behalf of my organization, on Jindal Steel, on the website of our parent group company, I'm the web administrator. I've kept it purposely with me so that there is no inquiry which gets lost. There is no inquiry which is not responded to in an appropriate manner. And it is not that mails are not being addressed to. So though it creates a mail overload for me, but I still make sure that every mail, whether it is domestic or international, it gets addressed appropriately. This is the benefit that now we are going to extend on the small prototype that we are building, where people can collaborate, connect to our organization, know people just beyond a few people, and then they can contact, and that's how our organization also benefits. We can perhaps have more satisfaction, derive more revenue. Precisely the things that Salil was saying. You just need to be a little bit more ingenious in your approach, flexible while keeping the lights on, the operational center on, making sure your deliverables are there, because that's what we have been kept for in the organization. So make sure the IT systems run fine, and then be innovative and think out of the box and try out these kind of things. And that's where the cloud is going to help actually. That's what I have found over the last 8 to 10 months of doing very diligent study. A lot of things that we were not able to do earlier, or we were constrained because of capex, freeze, this, that. Now we have a lot of flexibility in doing it, so just do it. I'm myself an open source fan. So I would say that explore open source technology first before you get hitched onto something, and it is difficult to unhitch yourself from there. Spend time, like I say, plan, do, check, act. Plan, check, then do, and then finally check it over once again. The checking part has to be more robust. Explore. There's plenty of open source technology which is available, and all this we have been doing in-house only with a small team of 2-3 people. Most of the research we have been doing ourselves, because once we are updated, then you're very confident. If you're dependent on someone else, then it's difficult. You'll be dependent on first one person, then some other person, and then it's a cycle that gets difficult to come out from. I would say experiment, do a trial and error, understand, and then do this. And try to adopt open source more, as much as possible, so that you can stay away from this issue of getting fixed onto one particular platform, because like one of the gentlemen was saying, once you do that, then there's an overlaying cost which comes year on year, upgrade costs, maintenance costs, ownership costs. It's very difficult to come out of this. And for any organization, forget mid-sized or large organizations, fiscal constraints are going to remain. It's not that now the improvement has started to be seen in some pockets that we can suddenly loosen our purse strings. Purse strings will remain tight now. That's another thing the businesses and the industry captains have learned, how to maintain this fiscal, I would say, prudence. That's how I call that.